Welcome back. It's time for a cap or no cap, but this time we're actually giving you a special edition of it. We're having two statements this time. So let's get started with the first one. Cheerleading is not a sport. And by just telling by Jordan's expressions, I'm going to have her go last on this. Landon, take it over.
I'm going to say no cap because cheerleading, it's not really, like, all you're doing is, I don't think it's really a sport, really.
Your argument's not sounding very good, Landon.
I just don't think it's a sport. Like, if I compare it to sports like soccer, football, basketball, and lacrosse and stuff like that, they're doing very active movements and stuff like that. But then you got cheerleading, where they're just and jumping around and
We not just
throwing their pom-poms and saying they're throwing bodies. That's like throwing bodies as in hoist the people up. That I don't really agree with saying it's a sport or stuff like that, because like throwing bodies is not really a term I would use, because you're not really throwing bodies. Football, you're throwing bodies. Rugby, you're throwing bodies. Hockey, you can throw bodies. Cheerleading, you're not really throwing bodies. You're just
Really? You're not?
giving them a hoist up. So,
A hoist up. Okay.
Yeah. What about
Okay.
you, Diego? So hold
You
on.
go hoist.
So no cap. Cheerleading is not a sport.
Statement.
Cheerleading is not a sport.
Stop,
So
please stop.
Diego, what do you think?
Cap. It's cheerleading is a sport. Competitive cheer is more of a sport than anything.
Appreciate you.
If you've seen competitive cheer,
Yeah.
I actually watched a show on it. It's really interesting.
You saw Cheer?
No,
Oh.
wait, I don't know what show I watched. I just watched it like a year and a half ago. It was on Netflix.
Year and a half. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Cheer.
It wasn't that good though.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll talk about it later.
All right.
But anyways, Cap, it is a sport. Does that make you an athlete? Really? Not all cheerleaders are certified athletes.
No.
Some of them, yes, they're gifted. They're athletic. Yes.
No.
No cap, ending right there. Jordan, take it away.
They're not certified as athletes because men would hate to admit that there is a sport out there that all girls created that had nothing to do with like basing it off of boys first. Like with tennis, boys were first and girls just followed. Soccer, boys were first, girls just followed. Cheerleading was something that girls created for just them, and then they added guys into it. If you look up look up the definition of a sport. Go ahead, I'll wait. Because it is literally, like, you can't say it's not. Like, we sit here, flip our bodies. You're laughing at me, Landon, but I'm gonna punch you, bro. I'm literally gonna deck you right now. Like, we throw our bodies in the air. We do flips, tumbling. Like, yes, we'll do motions with our arms, but it's a sport. And that's just that. It's a sport.
Not at all.
If you want to say sideline cheer is not a sport, I'll sit there and be like, okay with that. But once it's in the Olympics, y'all will be.
It's never gonna be in the Olympics.
Competitive
whatever.
cheer, yes.
Competitive cheer is a sport.
maybe.
Competitive
Maybe
cheer
in
is
the
a sport.
Olympics. Now changing over to the next topic. Football is the most physical sport. What do you guys think?
I'll give it top 3. I wouldn't say it's the most physical. Just because you got boxing and wrestling and rugby. Okay, maybe not so much rugby.
Top
But you know, maybe top 3. It's after like boxing maybe. But I don't know. I don't think it's the most physical. Just because you don't have to be physical in it to score touchdowns and stuff. But I don't play it, so can't go making assumptions out here like some people.
All right, Landon.
I'm gonna say cap, just because it's not one of the most physical. You do hit people, but it's not the most physical because, like Jordan said, you have boxing, wrestling. I think you left out hockey. Hockey's
I did leave that.
pretty intense, as so have heard or seen.
Throwing bodies, right?
Yeah. Because you could charge at people and they won't even expect it. Like some just like come out of nowhere and hit them. Like football's in my top 5. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
top 3, just because you have boxing, wrestling, hockey. You also have rugby,
Right? Rugby.
and that's without pads or anything. and then you have football. So I'm gonna say cap on it being the most physical sport. Diego?
I want to go with the cap. I think this is the first time we actually all agree on something.
Yeah, we all said cap.
Instead of Landon or myself being the opposite one. Football is not the most physical, but it is top 5, like Landon was saying. Of course, you got boxing, wrestling, all that stuff. Rugby, everything physical there. Rugby, it's fun to play, but too physical. It's fun. Yeah, football is not the most physical one, but it is top 5 at least. Maybe golf.
No. What?
Golf is physical.
Because golf's a sport, but cheerleading's not,
Alright,
right?
take all your anger out on the little golf ball.
Exactly. It's a lot of physical. It's a lot of
Just
with the
start beating
hips. Move with the hips.
No, stop.
Just stop. It's not going anywhere.
You know,
Just give up.
No.
guess I never seen Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
One of the greatest movies of all time. Move with the hips. Go to your happy place. That's all it
Run
is.
full speed and hit the ball.
Exactly.
Run.
All right, we're gonna have to move it on from there.